URC folks, Glasgow at the Bulls, 35 points to 21. Glasgow's kind of an up and down team, hey? Certainly looked pretty good at home. A few people have been saying in the comments for a couple of weeks now that the Bulls aren't quite looking the real deal. And maybe they've been found out a little bit in this one. We'll go through some key events and stats and you guys can let us know your thoughts. I've just watched it here with my breakfast here in NZ and bit of a cracking start from the Glasgow boys, you'd have to say. They won't find many starts in that, although they did concede one pretty soft try. I mean, going for the jugular early, 6 minutes, not opting for 3 points. The Glasgow boys, close range, phases. Matt Fagerson, who ends up getting man of the match, powers over for the first one. And George Horn's goal kicking has been pretty impressive the last few weeks, man. So 7-0 early on 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes they get their second. It's the Bulls with a high tackle, giving away some kind of cheap field position. And then that one, maybe, apart from the last one, the Mackay one's pretty nice, but the Cancellieri one, in terms of just easy on the eye beauty of a try, I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it just came out. The hands from the backs and the forwards, everybody involved, just proper peach, man, that one. So 14-0. It's all looking like Glasgow. However, I mentioned they conceded a pretty soft one. Ahrens' one on 18 minutes is... I mean, it's good defensive pressure from the Bulls. They're putting pressure on Horn at the breakdown, and he just drops the ball cold. Hendricks just like pounces on it and then gets it to Aronson, and you're never going to catch that guy from kind of, relatively short range, 20, 30 metres. He is gone. So, yeah, from nowhere, the Bulls have got 7 points on the board. And it starts piddling down, which I guess very stereotypical weather for Scotland, I suppose. But, yeah, man, like they called it drizzle at one point, the commentary team. It looked pretty heavy. So if that's drizzle, I hate to see what the regular rain is like because it looked, as I said, it looked rather heavy. 22 minutes, Glasgow get a maul try. This one's through Cummings. So it is proper back and forth, man. They're like barring that kind of speed bump of a coughed up ball, soft try. Glasgow just keep going, 21-7. Looked like the Bulls might have got one back from like a charge down, but they end up finding a penalty both ways. There's a ripping off of the scrum cap, so nothing ends up coming of it. But the Bulls, 28 minutes. I think it's a key moment. I wrote a note saying basically they've got a 5 metre line out. The Bulls, if they're going to get back into this game, they need to score now. It's kind of the bread and butter stuff for the Bulls, but Glasgow sack them all and then win a turnover pretty much straight away. However, the Bulls do win a scrum penalty. It's like a proper arm wrestle for momentum. They win a scrum penalty. The Bulls opt for touch. They go again. And then Glasgow win a penalty on defence again. Like, wait till you get to the turnover stats. It is crazy at the end of the game. But, the Bulls just not being allowed to kind of edge their way back into the game. And then the bonus point, 35 minutes, Horn. I mean, it's a bit of an individual brilliance one, that one. He kind of gets tackled. He's not held. He gets back up. He goes, and then he avoids another tackle. Somehow, he's not the biggest guy, but he manages to reach out and get the ball on the line. It's given. So 28 points to 7. Bonus points secured before half time. It's all looking pretty peachy. And the Glasgow defence at maul time holds one more time before half time. So, yeah, man, nothing's going right for the Bulls. The only try they've managed is like a pretty opportunistic, albeit with defensive pressure, turnover ball one. Everything they've been trying to construct has been getting shut down by Glasgow. So quite the first half. Second half continues more Glasgow momentum. Tupulotu kicks a nice 50-22, although they did immediately concede an offside at the line out, so they kind of let a bit of pressure off. But then I mentioned maybe the most magic try. It's between this one and the Cancellieri one. And Cancellieri has a hand, literally, in this one as well. It's a magic try, man. I mean, Glasgow turned the Bulls over in Glasgow's own half. They kicked the ball upfield, and then as they put some defensive pressure on the kick chase, they turned the Bulls over again. And then Cancellieri with the one-handed pass to Mackay. Proper thing of beauty. So 35-7 is probably game over, but there's still lots of time to play. Although, from a Glasgow point of view, they don't score any more points. Maybe that's one negative thing. They couldn't score in the final, quarter and a bit. of the game, it's hard to complain with a 35-21 win, to be honest. There's a bit of handbags on 54 minutes. George Horn and Elric Lowe end up going to the bin for getting a bit too close and friendly to each other, so those guys get 10 minutes to cool down. And the Bulls do have a wee bit of a comeback. They win the second half, man. Bismarck comes off the bench, gets 1 minute, it's 14-14. The Bulls just decide to tap and go. Cancellieri stops Steban Hans from getting one. Great covering tackle. Like, Cancellieri doesn't get man of the match, but man, he scored one, set up one, saved one. He didn't do a lot wrong. So yeah, the Bulls are still chasing the 4 try at least, but the Glasgow boys are trying to do everything to keep it from them. It looked like Glasgow had scored one more when Turner had his footballing skills on to put, I think it was Cancellieri through as well, but they found there was an infringement at the ruck because the ball had just kind of bobbled out. The Bulls did get one right before full time. Their third try, Papia's pass to Kutsia, who gets it to Swanepoel on 79. So the Bulls get 21 points up, but they can't chase down that 4th try. So, yeah, man, like I mentioned, big win from Glasgow, and the Bulls just couldn't get it going. Although, as I said, they did win the second half. That's going to be kind of small consolation because they win absolutely nothing in this game. No 4 try bonus point, no losing bonus point. It's just an L. Possession finishes pretty much even, 51-49, but the run meters is 410 to 312 to the Warriors. Defenders beaten 28-18 to the Warriors. 6 clean breaks to 2 to the Warriors. But man, the most impressive stat for me, if it's correct, it seems crazy if true, turnovers won was 12-3, which is phenomenally high. That's a lot of turnovers to be winning. But it would kind of coincide with the Bulls' ruck stat being at 91%, which is really low. Like, the Warriors are at 98. Like, the Bulls just physically kind of getting pushed around up front. And their tackling percentage, the Bulls, was low. 75%, man. That's really low. Most teams, mid-80s is kind of a pass. 90s is great. 70s is really, really bad. So the Glasgow boys were at 88%. So, yeah, man, one of those days. Cancellieri in terms of individuals, 100 metres, 8 defenders beaten, 4 clean breaks, try assist, doesn't get man of the match. Don't know what else he could have done, but I mean, Matt Ferguson gets it, and he does make like 16 tackles, gets a try of his own, so there you go. Xander Ferguson had 4 turnovers, 1 and 17 tackles of his own, so putting in a pretty good shift too. Arendse for the Bulls, 98 metres, 3 defenders beaten, a clean break. Norkia 13 from 13, was it 13 from 13? 13 tackles anyway. Marcel Kutsia made 12, but yeah. Bit of a forgettable one for the Bulls, especially in that first half. They did well to push in the second, but still, as I said, don't come away with anything for the Glasgow boys. Back to winning ways. Bonus point win at home to the Bulls. They'll take all kinds of confidence from that, but they'll need it because they're away to South Africa, playing the Sharks next, and the Bulls are away to Munster, who haven't been that sharp either. So, yeah, we'll see how things go. You guys let us know your thoughts on this one, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.